This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Recording in progress.
Okay, Shalom Aleichem, Bruchim Habayim, Agon Erev Shabbos. I want to share with you an amazing insight of Maran Go'enu Zenu, the Chida Reb Chaim Yosef David Azulai. This is a amazing idea from the Sefer Penine HaChida. You know, the Gemara tells us a story of Rabbi Yishmael, who the Gemara says that even though the Chachamim say that on Shabbos lo yikra l'araner, you're not allowed to read by the light of a candle, but nevertheless, Amar Rabbi Yishmael ben Elisha, Ani ekra v'layata, I will read and I will not tilt the candle. The Chazal said, no, you can't read on Shabbos l'araner, you might come to tilt the candle to get the wick to catch the oil. And Rabbi Yishmael ben Elisha said, no, I will read and I won't tilt. And one time he began to read and he was about to tilt. He said, Kama gedolim divrei chachamim sha'orim lo yikra la'araner. Reb Nosson Omer. Reb Nosson says, no, Karav Hita, that Rabbi Yishmael ben Elisha in fact did read and he did tilt. V'kasav al penkasai, and he wrote in his notebook, Ani Yishmael ben Elisha, I Yishmael ben Elisha, Karisi, I read, V'hitesi, and I tilted the candle. When the Beis Hamikdash will be built, I'll bring a fat chatas. It's very interesting. Why did he say he'll bring a fat chatas? Why didn't he say he'll bring a medium-sized chatas? Or just say he'll bring a chatas, and if he wants to bring a fat one, he could bring a fat one. The Chida has the following shaila. The Chida says, why did he have to even write that when the Beis Hamikdash will be built, he'll bring a fat chatas? Don't we have a principle? Kal ha'oisek b'toras chatas ki'ilu hikrav chatas. So why did he have to say that he'll obligate himself to bring a korban? Just learn the laws of korbanis and it'll be considered as if he did it. So the Chida says two answers. Answer number one: a korban has two parts: the chelek hamizbeach, which is the chelek of Hashem, and the chelek hanitan l'kohanim, which is called the matnas kahuna. This idea that when you learn about a korban, it's like you brought a korban. It's like you brought the korban and you gave the chelek to Hashem, but it's not like you gave the chelek to the kohanim. So therefore, when the Beis Hamikdash is built, you still owe the kohen the matanos. So he said, when the Beis Hamikdash will be built, I'll bring a korban, because even though he already fulfilled by learning the chelek legavaya, but he didn't fulfill the chelek lekohanim. Another answer: the din that if you learn about a korban, it's like you brought a korban. It's like you brought a regular korban. But it's not like you brought a korban min hamuvchar. So therefore, Rabbi Yishmael said, when the Beis Hamikdash will be built, I'll bring a chatas shmeina. I already was yotzei the chatas. I was already yotzei the main primary chiyuv, but I wasn't yotzei bringing a korban min hamuvchar. What's the nafkamina between these two answers of why Rabbi Yishmael ben Elisha obligated himself to bring a korban when the Beis Hamikdash was built? The first answer is that he could only be yotzei as if he brought a korban he's only yotzei the chelek legavaya, he's not yotzei the chelek of the kohanim. And the other answer is he's only yotzei a korban, but not a korban min hamuvchar. You know what the nafkamina would be? A korban oila. Korban oila has no chelek lekohanim. So if learning about a korban is like bringing a korban, so then when it comes to a korban oila, you could just learn about it and you're yotzei for sure l'chal hadayos. But if it's just that you get schar for a korban, but not a korban min hamuvchar, then even by a korban oila, learning is not going to do the trick. Says the Chida, which answer is right? The first answer or the second answer? Is the main reason because you're not giving the chelek to the kohanim? Or is the main reason because it's not a korban min hamuvchar? Says the Chida, the main answer is the first answer. That you're not yotzei the chelek l'kohanim. You know how we know that's the main answer? Because what does the Torah say by a korban oila? Zois tairas ha'oila hi ha'oila. This is the Torah of the oila. That's the oila. What do you mean that's the oila? That's the oila means, when zois tairas ha'oila, when you learn about an oila, it's hi ha'oila, it's a oila min hamuvchar. It's not, you don't just get credit for a partial korban, you get credit for a Korban min hamuvchar. So it must be like the first answer of the Chida, that the main reason why learning about a Korban was not sufficient for Rabbi Yishmael ben Elisha is because it only works for L'gavaya but not L'kohanim. But when it comes to an oila, it works completely. And therefore by the oila it says, Hi ha'oila, and it's even considered a mitzvah min hamuvchar. That is the Chida.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.